Listen, man, welcome back to another podcast, man. I have a special guest here today. I'm not somebody to try to explain to you what they do. I let them do explaining, man. Welcome to the podcast.
Man, thank you for having me onto the podcast. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
sir. So what's good, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. So, my name is Martel Matthews. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Good Feeling Hemp. I'm also the CEO and co-owner of the Black Wall Street.
Come on.
I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm in a driving school here in Houston, Texas as well. I'm a part of a driving school in Texas. So anything when it comes to, being an entrepreneur, elevating people and giving them game on how to actually elevate.
Yes.
I've been doing this for over a decade now.
Come on.
I worked in corporate America. I got a business marketing degree. So I've been through all the different stages, if you will.
Yes,
it's
sir.
still growing, but it's levels to this.
Oh, it's levels to it.
And I love to bless people with the things I've learned so far.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about the levels because I don't think people understanding the levels of entrepreneurship. So what were three things if you got somebody that's trying to be entrepreneurs, like give us three things that you will want to import. What should they do?
What should they do? All right. So the first thing you should do if you want to be an entrepreneur, right? Number one is take advantage of your current job. If you're working somewhere, you need to understand the systems and the operations that they're currently doing. Every job I had, I did the extra mile to go and say, what can I do to help my manager? What can I do to help the store? What can I do to help this corporation? If we were doing a sales strategy or marketing campaigns, what can I do to learn the different ins and outs? Don't just think, oh, I'm only here to getting paid to do my job, because that's the mindset of a worker, not an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur, you have to be able to understand everything. You the boss, you the CEO, you the business owner, right? And no, number two, the second thing I would say as an entrepreneur is build a team. You cannot do anything by yourself, right? You're gonna think to yourself like, oh, I got this vision, I got this passion.
Man, tell them.
But you have to build a team to be efficient and
yes, sir.
to be able to execute at the highest level. And number three, I would say is learn how to articulate your vision. Okay,
say
you
that
have
again.
to learn how to articulate your vision. Everybody you talk to, whether it's investors, whether it's your customer, whether it's your team, whether it's your children, your mama, your daddy, whoever you talk to, you have to articulate your vision to a high level, so that way everything, the operations get executed at the highest level because you articulated the vision properly.
And I think people need to know that though, because I think a lot of times the questions I get, man, I mean, I've been on this entrepreneur journey for about 20 years. I don't look that old. I'm little, you know what I'm saying? But I've been on this journey for a while, man. And I always try to tell people, like, because one of the questions people say is like, man, I need to create content, but I don't know how to do it. So on your show, Market Mondays, huh?
Oh, well, I got Great Minds Mondays.
Great Minds Mondays. So let's talk a little bit about that. Why should people join Great Minds Mondays?
So Great Minds Mondays is on my Black Wall Street, and that's at blackwall.st, right? That's our Instagram page. We have over 820,000 followers.
Come on.
We're one of the largest Black-owned media companies here socially and doing things for the Black community, right?
All right.
And so what I do on my show, Great Minds Mondays, is I bring the greatest minds onto our platform to talk about their lessons and their journey, so you can learn from them, right? So
that's good.
Whether it's entrepreneurs, whether it's people who help with credit building, whether it's people who've just been successful, right, in their own right, you can learn from them. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to tap in to interviews. I watch interviews the way people watch TV.
Me too,
because I want the game.
Me too.
I want to soak up all the game.
Man, I want to see what kind of questions they asking. You know, I want them to know, like, man, what questions are you asking, man? And I think that's important, though.
Very important.
You know, that people know, like, it is what it is. So how long you been running at Black Market Mondays?
So on Great Minds Mondays.
So, Great Minds Mondays. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. So I started Great Minds Mondays. We're on episode 21, right? So I started this all the way like last May, I guess you say, in 2021. So, and it's been growing every single week, right? I have the next evolution of it is going to come out actually in Q2. Start shooting, going to actual business owners studios, such as your studio here. You got an immaculate studio here.
I appreciate it. Yes,
and I would love to have you on my show as well, especially the one that'll be on the YouTube show. We'll come and shoot and look into your end of what you've created.
I like
and show people, you know, almost like how MTV Cribs was, but for business owners, talking about that journey.
Yes, and I think that's good though, because I'm real big on trying to highlight different individuals when it comes to entrepreneurship. So the hustle. So what's the difference between having confidence and being cocky when you hustling?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. So you know how they say every hustler makes great entrepreneurs a lot of times?
Yes,
because
sir.
as you become a hustler, you have to do that as an entrepreneur. But there's also a stage when you start to become a better leader and you start to create yourself as a real CEO and as a real business owner, where you actually have to get out of the hustle mentality, right? Like I love everybody talking about hustle, but hustle also just keeps you going in circles a lot of times. Eventually, you have to learn how to become a strategic thinker. You have to become a thinker and a planner. Because, but when I started to plan out my content, when I started to plan out my operations, when I started to plan out my growth, that's when I started to see real evolutions. That's when I started to see, jumps that weren't just, small jumps and benefits. My business really excelled because my strategy was there. So, like, I like to consider myself more of a strategist now than I do even a hustler.
I'm gonna jump on that real quick. I tell people all the time, you gotta systematize and organize. Because if you have a system, acronym, save yourself time, energy, and money.
Yes, sir.
If you have a system, it's easy for you to run the play.
That's game.
You know what I'm saying? So when you run in the play, it's like, man, I need to run this play this way.
Exactly. And systems are duplicated too.
Yes.
So now you can duplicate that system. So when you want to expand and you want to go to a different market in a different place, now you got a system. You can duplicate.
And I think that's good, man, because, I said duplicate and delegate. So let's talk about delegating.
Let's talk about it.
So many people feel like, hey, man, if I let you in, man, you might try to take over my business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's talk about delegating. Why is it important for people to delegate?
I think it's super important for you to delegate, but it goes back to what I said earlier about articulating your vision.
Come on.
To truly delegate, you need to know what you're delegating to.
That's true.
A lot of times, it took me, when I first started Good Feeling Hemp in 2020, right? I'm a young entrepreneur in this hemp in cannabis space, right? So I own one of the first cannabis hemp companies in the state of Texas.
Okay.
We're all Black owned. We're manufactured. We're raising $1 million right now.
I like
in
that.
capital. We've been put on the largest platform to raise capital, which is WeFunder, largest in America. So anybody can go to WeFunder.com, Google Good Feeling Hemp, and invest into our business at this point, right? But when I started that business, I was asking God, like, man, why is this so difficult, man? Like, Jesus, I'm trying to hire people. I'm hiring employees. I hired my first virtual assistant. She's been with me for about 1.5 years now. She works out the Philippines. Her name is Anna, amazing woman. And I started to build a team. But then I saw how difficult it was to now not only do my job, but also tell my employees every morning what to do, what their job was. Then they come back and they completed that job. Now I have to review what they do, tell them what else to do. That's all delegation. But once I started to actually understand and become more of a strategist instead of just a hustler, now delegating, and that's hard, right? Because I know what we want to do this quarter, this month, this week. And so then you just delegate your goals. So if you got your goals and you're setting proper goals, which as a business owner, if you're not setting goals, you don't know where you're going.
You really don't.
You don't. You operating. You may be making money, but you're not actually evolving if you don't have goals.
That's true.
So setting those goals will help you delegate, and then delegation will help you reach those goals.
So this is the thing, though, and I think people need to. You said some. I'm just as you talking. It's like ding, ding, ding. People need to understand a couple things. What you just said, like delegation is so important to you building out your whole mindset. So having a mind, so you would say have a mindset of a strategist, not a hustler.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go into like strategy, because people want to know, like, how do you strategize when I'm just starting off? Okay,
definitely. That's a great question. That's a terrific question, actually. So when you think about strategy, first you want to think about what's your overarching. Let's use an example so we can make this super practical.
Okay,
I like practical things that people can take.
Most
of y'all all love social media, right?
Everybody,
and you love social media. You want to build your social media platform, but you're not consistent with your content. And then you think, okay, what type of content am I going to create?
That's good.
So one of the strategy that you should first think before you start creating content is, one, who is my content for?
Come on.
Who am I talking to? That's strategy, right? A lot of times people don't think about that, but who is your target market? It may not be your friend. It may not be anybody you actually know. Your target market probably is strangers, first off. So
say that again.
Your target market and your customer are strangers to you, first off, right? So when you understand that your target market and who you're talking to is a stranger, then you say, now what am I trying to do to a stranger? What am I trying? Am I educating them? Am I motivating them? Am I just entertaining them? Am I funny? Am I the person who brings brings value. Like, what do you want to do? And once you start to know what you want to do, then you know what type of content to create. Am I creating reels? True. Am I creating pictures? Am I creating storylines? Like, what's my flow? When you come on my page, what do you get from my page? So when you have a strategy around this is my target market. This is the type of content I create. This is what I want people to feel when they come to my page. This is what I want them to take away. Now you can create content and make sure that it falls in each of those 3 categories.
I love that. And I think that's important though, because I mean, what I realized, because we have a content creation studio here, so we really help people start from ground zero. So that means, like you said, you got to know your audience, you got to know your demographics, you got to know exactly what is it that they're looking for. What's your message? You know, people don't have a message. Yeah. You know, and I think that's the main problem. They don't have a serious message on what I tell people. It's the feel, fail, found rule. It's like when you speaking to me, man, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But what I found out was, so that's giving that empathy that they're looking for. So you can sell whatever you selling.
Yeah. And there's also adding that game when it comes to that feel, felt, found. Now you also give them a story, right? Jesus talked in parables for a reason.
Come on.
Stories and parables are how people remember, and it sticks with them. So after you feel with them and then you empathize with them, then you give them a story either of yourself or of a customer or of somebody else who's been able to benefit from what you felt or what you empathize with and what you overcame. Because essentially you're taking your customer on a journey. You got to know that customer journey, and when you speak to them through that story, you're taking their mind through that journey through the story, right?
And I think people tend to forget, like they really tend to forget, like, man, how am I going to take them to a new level? What is my mindset going to look like? Like, what are their mindset when they're approaching me? Because I think people looking for help.
Yeah.
But the question is, how are you helping them? You know what I'm saying? So let's talk a little bit about, I call it the ignition. So for you to just get started. So you got some people out there saying, man, y'all making entrepreneurship sound easy, but it ain't that easy. So what is that ignition that they need to do? Is they need to shift their mindset? Do they need to find a product? I mean, what is, like, if they're trying to be an entrepreneur, but they don't know what they want to do, what is that ignition that you would want to give them?
So I would say that the first thing you can do, or I would say this is what I did that helped me change my life, right?
Okay.
I found mentors. I found mentors, and I got around people who were big time entrepreneurs. And,
yes, sir.
I continue to do that, right? At first, it was doing it just around going to networking events and getting around people who I saw were doing things that I wanted to do.
Come on.
Then it started to get where I strategically do partnerships and businesses to get myself around entrepreneurs and work together. Because if you're a multimillionaire, right, what value can I bring this multimillionaire? What value can I bring this billionaire, right? Like, I've met billionaires and millionaires here in Houston. And I got their phone numbers now. We text, and they're mentors of mine, right? But when I'm talking to my billionaire mentor or my millionaire mentors, I'm always thinking not just what can they do for me, what can I do for them? What can what scenes or what you have going on where I can help you? And that, as an entrepreneur, would take you to another level, because when you start to hang around people who are rising, they say, rising tides rise all boats. You need to be around the boat. You need to be a boat around some other big boats. Now, this boat may be a yacht, and you just a little pedal boat, but eventually that your boat gonna keep getting bigger. Because you next to this yacht. So you got to get around people who are doing things that's beyond yourself, and remind yourself, affirm to yourself that if God put you in that room, walk into that room like you deserve to be there, because God put you there.
And you know what? I tell people, GPS is a mentor. Let me explain. If I give you my address and I live in Dallas, but you don't put it in your GPS, how long will it take you to find me?
Boy, look, I'm had this big old map out, like, oh, which go to?
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I tell you my address and you put it in the GPS, it tells you how long you're gonna get there.
Exactly.
It tells you it tells you can you go a shorter route? It gives you different. That's what mentors do to us.
They do.
They give us, hey, you can go this way because I made this mistake. So it's kind of helping you get to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So let's talk a little bit about this cannabis. So is it legal in Texas yet?
Yeah, so hemp is legal in all 50 states, right?
Okay, I got you.
As of the 2014 Farm Bill, which President Barack Obama signed, it legalized hemp. But then in 2018, President Trump signed the 2018 Farm Bill, which legalized it in all 50 states. So anything that's from the hemp plant is legal. Now, just to give some education, you have the cannabis plant, right? But now the cannabis plant is the hemp plant as well. It's also the marijuana plant. So both of them are considered cannabis. The only difference is the cannabis plant has above 0.3 Delta 9 THC. That's THC. The Delta 9 THC is the THC that actually gets you high, right? It gives you that euphoric effect. Whereas with CBD, it's under that 0.39. So it doesn't get you high per se, but it helps with everything else connected to your body, right? And what got me into this space, why I knew I had to become a CEO and a business owner here. In 2018, I was actually working in corporate America still. I was a manager at Enterprise. As a matter of fact, that's before I went to ADP and Oyo. I worked at a couple corporate companies as managers and district managers, stuff like that. But when I was working here, one of my teammates that I used to play ball with was like, "Hey, bro, you got to look into this hemp space." And I was like, "All right, what's up? Like,
let me see what's going down.
Let me see what's happening." Now I smoked cannabis. I smoked marijuana when I was in college and stuff, but I wasn't no heavy weed head or nothing. But I knew the benefits because the body, the medicine, and my mom had ALS. So when I started doing the research and I saw how CBD can really help people with ALS and disease that are neuro.
So that was your motivation.
That was my motivation. And you need a big motivation, because I want to tell y'all, everybody right now who's trying to be an entrepreneur, right?
Come on.
It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be times you won't want to quit. It's going to be times you want to give up. It's going to be times you just feel frustrated. You're going to have to make a lot of sacrifices where you might want to go hang out, you might want to party, you may want to do other things, and you can't if you want to be successful in your business. But if your why is big enough, right? And if God put that vision into your mind, God gave that vision for you. Nobody else can manifest that into this 3D reality the way that you can, because God put that into your being. So my mom having ALS and growing up since the 4th grade, seeing my mother go through that, right? Go from walking, playing basketball with me, playing sports, all the way to being in a wheelchair, to barely being able to walk, to barely being able to feed us up. I brushed my mom's teeth every morning before I went to school, bro. I get home from work. I worked at Kroger just to help us pay extra bills. Get home, put in the baths, gave my mom showers.
People don't see that part.
I was a caregiver my whole life, since I was a kid. So and for me but the doctors would always tell us there's nothing they can do. I looked into Chinese medicine. We looked into stuff. And we did acupuncture. I was doing all this at a young age.
Come on.
So now when I was 26, I became a CEO.
I got you.
Right now I'm 29. I turned 30 this year.
Come on.
So technically I'm a young business owner when you think about the level of brands that I represent. I represent a company in America that's raising $1 million. I represent a company in America that has Black Wall Street, that has over 800,000 Black people who tune in to us. You know how we get 9 million views every month from Black people. So we're here to impact our community in a real way. And I don't take that lightly, because God bestowed upon me these levels of blessings, and they say with great power come great responsibility. So I've been able to just, continue to educate and bring value, whether it's coming on good podcasts.
Yes, sir.
Yourself, and thank you for reaching out to me
on the show. I appreciate it.
Because you've been doing this for a while, brother. Like you really the real deal with it. Like in the level of quality you put into your show and into your work, I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, look, that's why I try to tell people, make sure that if you're the example that you want to see, I can't mentor people and I ain't worked what I'm saying on work.
Yeah.
So a lot of people got to understand that. So when I looked at your page, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, he seemed like he very sharp. He bringing people onto the show. I'm like, man, I'm really I'm diving into it. I'm like, so what made you, how important is multiple streams of income?
That's a great question. That's a terrific question, actually, especially as entrepreneurs. Now, this is where the hustle come back in, all right? Now, I told y'all I'm a strategist, but I started a hustler first, you know what I'm saying? So listen, when the hustler come back, because as an entrepreneur, you pay yourself. I ain't had a job in 3 years.
Man.
Right? So without having a job, I haven't had a corporate company pay me. That means I pay my own insurance. I have car insurance, health insurance, pay my bills, pay everything else. Now, the reality is when you're building a business, you also have to pay your employees. You have to pay your rent. You have to pay for advertising. So the cost of the business a lot of the times cannot sustain your lifestyle. Especially, I was being young in corporate America. I was down there making 6 figures, right? In my mid-20s.
Come on.
So but I was a hustler, right? So to come from that lifestyle, I had to humble myself but could learn how to live frugal. Like I'm telling you, Man,
come on, talk about it.
Everybody be on social media trying to act like they this business, this early startup business, and they on yachts, they traveling, they doing man, listen, half of that be false. And the other part of that, if it's not false, it's not smart, because you're gonna have a downturn. Right now, we have the economy. We don't know what's about to happen to the US dollar. You see China, I don't know, with everybody
teaming up,
and so you don't know what's about to happen with the economy. But as an entrepreneur, you have to think about this. So if you're more frugal with your money, frugal with your investments, use partnerships and leverage other things to be able to get your brand out, right? But then just to go back to the question of having multiple streams of income, this is where multiple streams of income become very important. But you do need to be strategic with your multiple streams. Don't just jump into any and everything, right? So I started my driving school in 2019, because 2020, because I needed multiple streams of income.
I got you.
The pandemic started. I'm building my company, and then I found out I was Ubering at the time too while I'm building this company. Ubering right there, multiple streams of income. Yes. While I'm Ubering, I'm driving, and I had a guy in my backseat named Craig Zeno. He's a principal in Houston, HISD, and he started telling me about driving school. Like, he was like, bro, you should become a driving school instructor. He told me he bought his BMW on the side of his full-time career, all from driving school. And I'm like, what's that? Right. So I go and I go to Broussard Driving School, right in Houston, off of like Richmond, and it's a 3-month program. So you got to get certified to teach kids how to drive. So I love it. From 14 and a half to 17 to 18 to 24, I'm licensed in the state of Texas by TDLR. I got to actually get them their license and then teach them how to drive. Well, now that's the extra stream of income. So when my hemp company was needing me, I need to pay my employees instead of paying myself, right? I invested $30,000 of my own money into my business over 2 years, right? And that's from 26 to 28. So think about yourself right now, whether you're 26, 36, 46, are you willing to invest 20 to 30,000 of your income into a business, right? That's true. Because that's the type of stuff you have to do when you're building from scratch, right? But when you diversify your income, you're able to still be able to have another source of income to keep you afloat while you're investing into the business, right? Another thing that another game that I found that I think a lot of people don't think about is going and buying a business that's already established. So you can literally go on Google right now and type in businesses in Texas, businesses in New York, businesses in Chicago who are selling their company. And you can go buy a company that's already selling. Let's say you got some money, right? You're not coming from the ground up.
Give them gems, man.
Business that's already in operations. I looked at a company. I was calling them. I talked to their owner. It was right on the south side. I haven't bought this company yet, but I explored into it, right? I gave them a call. They have 8 different trucks. They're a wholesale manufacturing company. He has like 5 employees, 8 trucks, and he's making about $500,000 a year. But the kids don't want to take over the business, and he's just ready to exit, right? So I'm looking at it like, okay, well, I got my hemp business. I need manufacturing. If I buy his company, I now have trucks. I now have employees, because the employees stay there too, unless you decide to move around. And then on top of that, I have relationships, because he already has relationships with HEB, corner stores. I love that. I can put my products into these relationships. So you have to be creative as a business owner as well, so you can have multiple streams of income.
And I tell people all the time, man, if you have one income, you're too close to zero. So you better make sure, like me, I got like 9 different streams of income. And it's coming from different angles. But see, people don't gotta understand, you can have main incomes that have sub incomes.
Exactly.
So you might have a main LLC, but you don't have to go get 20 other LLCs for different businesses. You could put that one LLC and have the same EIN number. It can go underneath that core. I'm just trying to.
You giving them game now, because now he's giving you corporate. He's giving you structure, right? Because on top of that, something I do at Black Wall Street, I'm very heavy on everybody having a trust. Yes, and you should have a trust set up where your business is under your trust. You set up a corporation to hold all of your LLCs, and that trust then operates as its own entity, right? Yes. The important word about a trust is it's juris. Juris is legal word, meaning that one is contract law and it's its own entity. So, for instance, when Michael Jackson died, when Chadwick Boseman just died, right? The Black Panther just passed away. And half of his money, or 1/3 went to his mother. I think another 1/3 went to his wife, and the other 1/3 went to a state.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, bro.
It's crazy.
Crazy. 1/3 of his money went to the state, and that brother did so much.
Who is the state?
Who is they? Right? This is the day that DJ Khaled be talking about. They don't want you to win. They want your money. They want to take it from you, right?
Come on, man.
We have to to be smarter, and we have to educate ourselves because the Jewish community and other people have been setting up these structures for years.
That's good.
But now it's time for us, right? It's our time. I really believe that as Black people in America and in the world, it's our time to elevate. And we are elevating, right? So as the world is seeming like it's becoming destructive, it's actually our time to unite and take over and power as a Black community.
Yes,
That's why we have the Black Empower Mastermind, right? So us elevating and taking over it comes from that structure.
They scared. They scared. They don't want us to think different.
We have to though.
Oh man, y'all know that. You know, like if the NBA players ever decide to say, you know what, we're not hooping no more, we're gonna go into our own league. We're collectively they got billions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Power.
It's over.
We influential. We just need to take our influence back and use our influence for us, not for everybody else to tap in and use our influence for them.
So social media, let's talk a little bit about that. What you see going on in social media that can help people move their business as entrepreneurs?
Oh, that's a great question. So Lloyd, what I see with social media and what can really help people take it to the next level is when you're on social media, so many of us spend time just looking through social media, having fun, playing, entertaining ourselves. Start looking for collaborations. I'm telling you, listen, I've reached out to entrepreneurs just off of social media and have built relationship. Marcus Bowers, right? My guy Marcus, I'm gonna give him a shout out right now because he's the owner of She Happy Hair, right? Okay. And I reached out to Marcus Bowers just to be on my show, Great Minds Monday. Man. Now, this brother in 2012 started She Happy Hair with only $400. And now it's 2023. They've generated over $100 million. It's a Black man from Texas, just like us. Man. But that was all. And literally, when I reached out to him, Marcus was like, "Man, thank you for reaching out." He said, "People don't even reach out to me." He said, "I'm surprised more people don't reach out to me." So I've literally used social media to get around $100 million Black man. Because I sent him a message and was like, "Yo, what's up, brother? I love to build and talk with you and have you on my show." So if you don't have a show, let me be more practical for you. When you reach out to somebody who you are inspired by, ask them, "Hey, I see." First off, do some research first. Don't just blind reach out to them. See what companies they own, see what they're doing. Do your research, do your due diligence. But then when you see what they're doing, see how you can add value. Hey, I see you have this event. Want to see if maybe I can help find you a sponsor. Maybe I can come to the event and do something for you. Just reach out. Most people don't receive people who even reach out to them like that. So they gonna look at you like, "Oh man, you just reached out."
You see how I do it? I send a picture. I found a picture of them. Like I did you. And I put a picture of myself, picture of them, say, "Hey man, I'm looking for people." People be responding.
Okay, okay, about to build your show. So official, I'm already on the flyer.
Man. So I think those little things people need to know, man. I tell people every day, we got t-shirts we made. This one t-shirt we made too. It's called Going Beyond the Label Black CEO. But I tell people one thing is I tell them that I say, listen, consistency kills critics. The more consistent you are, the critics they ain't got nothing to say.
Yo, I love that. Look, consistency kills critics. And the other thing is consistency builds belief within yourself. A lot of the times we have to redefine and reinvent ourselves from who we used to be to who we are. And when you start to be consistent, you start to believe yourself. Oh no, this is who I am now. This is the new me. You don't have to remind yourself because your consistency creates your new being. Man. And that is who you are.
Because you know what? I love when you say that, and I try to tell people like, who I was 10 years ago, not who I am today. You know the old version of me, not the new version.
Right.
So what I have invested in myself, my mind, I have already shifted. I'm reading books every single day.
Yep.
So the question is, you got a book coming out? Anything?
I actually am writing an ebook.
You got some knowledge.
Yeah. I'm still. What's funny? I do, but I'm still in this. I still feel like I'm on. I still feel like I'm in my training. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm around, and maybe because I put myself around some of these people who are so great and have done immaculate things. While I look at them and I'm like, oh, you ain't there yet.
But let me give you game though. This was the beautiful part about it is what you know for since 2016. What you said, no, since 2020 to now, that's 3 years. There's somebody today that's at ground zero. So to me, if you 2 weeks ahead of a person, you can teach them.
No, for sure.
Think about that.
For sure.
So it's a lot of people that's graduating high school, college, don't know nothing that you know.
That's true.
So I think once we learn how to package up our information and say, you know what, this ebook might only be 50 pages, but I can just charge $20 for it, just to give them game.
Yep, in a real way. And I am releasing an ebook. I'm about to release an ebook on how to get started in the hemp space.
Come on.
I'm also I'm getting ready to do a course on reinventing yourself. Right. So something I did want to drop earlier when we talked about side incomes. Every entrepreneur out there right now, if you have a business, one, if you're not utilizing the internet to make money,
Wi-Fi,
you need to join our Black Empower Mastermind group, right? Because we're helping Black entrepreneurs learn how to make money online. You need to monetize. If you're not monetizing your online space, you're moving backwards. Number two, if you're not building a residual income means that you're able to do something one time and continue to generate money.
Hello.
You make a sale one time and you continue to generate money. If you look at Instagram right now, they just started doing the blue check for only $14.99. So for $14.99, you can have a blue check. Right?
Yes.
Now a lot of people laugh at that and be like, "Oh, don't you about to pay for your blue check?" But to a degree, one is smart for Instagram to do that, because now they got a residual income. But then two, as a business owner, if you really are putting yourself out there and growing your business, it's smart for you too. Because remember, your real customers is a stranger to you right now. They don't know you. Your real customer is not your friend. It's not the 100 to 300 people who view your story. I know y'all going on there and looking at the same people every day who look at your story. It's the same ones. Only 3 or 4 people.
But you know why though? Because we pay for ads, and we was assigned to a Facebook representative. You know, she said, we only let 50. She said, how many followers you got? You got 5,000? We only let 50 people see it.
10%.
Because if you want to go outside of that, and the only people the only people that let's see is the people who like your stuff. So that's why you said, man, I don't got nobody new. Yeah. Now, what a play is, if you can get those 50 to share with they 50.
Oh, there you go.
So now you got 50 times 50. Now we expanding to a bigger team of people. Yep. So I try to tell people all the time, like, share it. Don't worry about liking it. I don't care about the like. I care about the share.
Share, right?
Because then now your 50 get to see what I have going on.
That's game.
When she told us, I was like, what? She's like, yeah, that's how Facebook make money.
Yeah. Hey, that's game, because now you got to run that ad. And now back to strategy. Now you need to strategize making shareable content. Man. Are you making content that you just like, or that people like? Or are you making content that people can share? Are you putting out quotes that people going to share on their stories? Are you putting out stories that people going to share? Because they going to say, I identify with this. People share things that they either identify with or they aspire to. Right? Yes. So either they want to aspire to or they think it's funny and entertaining. Okay. So what type of content are you putting out that's shareable? Do they identify with your content? Are they inspired by your content? Are they entertained by thinking it's funny, or thinking it's just something that they friends will find cool? Right.
And I think, again, value. And I think when people understand the value of the blue check, whether you got 2,000, listen, I tell people this, I'd rather have 1,000 people investing $1,000 a year in me versus 100,000 people watching me.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Because the problem is, you said something just so key, is understanding, like, people say, well, what I got? Look, I got a clothing line. I got a podcast course. I got a podcast ebook. I got a podcast membership. And I have other multiple digital products that I send people to. People say, well, how you make a product? Easy. What are they asking you? The questions they asking you, you create modules for and give them answers to.
Exactly.
Don't give them the play until they pay. Don't give them the play until they pay.
Don't give them the play until they pay. I like that.
Listen, people don't pay attention until they pay.
Yeah.
When it's free, they like, oh, it ain't nothing.
Take it for granted.
They take it for granted
every single time.
Yeah. So I mean, so you building, so being 29 years old, in the next 3 to 5 years, where you see yourself?
Man, okay. That's always a great question. And it's always a hard one to answer, but it's still one that I'll tackle, right?
Okay.
For myself, in the next 3 to 5 years, I'll 100% be a global brand as of myself as an entity, as well as the different brands that I'm building. I'm going to strategically impact the whole world, but put a lot of emphasis on the Black community, because our community is the one that's always creating all the value and is told to think about everybody else instead of thinking about ourselves, right? And so for myself as an entrepreneur who is on the rise and understand a lot that our people don't, I'm going to impact our people on a digital field. I'm going to get our people to understand the power of the internet, understand the power of social media, and understand how to use it, right? Like it's each one teach one. We have to teach ourselves and help each other out to really elevate, right? And so for me, these next 3 to 5 years of my life is about that. It's about helping our community and the ones who want to, because I feel your vibe attracts your tribe. So I'm attracting my tribe, and anybody who wants to grow and wants to take yourself to the next level, you tap in with me. You know, my Martel Matthews, that's my name on all Instagram, on Facebook, Martel with 1L, Matthews with 2 T's. But when you tap in with me, I'm really here to help us all grow. And I have systems to help that, right? And you said something that was just so impactful when you was talking about all your different clothing lines and the products and this and that.
I got my book.
See, you got your book, you got everything ready. One, he's displaying it so you're seeing it, but then two, when you as a customer, we're taking you through a funnel right now. This is a funnel right now. This podcast is this is attracting you into the funnel. Now, the next thing you need to do as a business owner, as anybody with a business, once you bring somebody into your funnel by attracting them with content, you now need to get their phone number, right? Like if you were in a bar and you want to talk to a girl, y'all can have the greatest conversation. But if you leave that bar and you don't see her again, you ain't get a phone number on Instagram, you can't follow up with her. So as a business owner, you now need your email, your customer's email list, and your customer's phone number. Now you can build a relationship, because relationship building is the key to wealth. If you want to be wealthy, right? Not just rich. If you want to be wealthy and have a company that is wealthy, you need to build wealthy relationships, interpersonal, but also wealthy relationships with your customer. That's how your customers and your clients trust you forever. That's how you become Nike. That's how you become Chick-fil-A. That's how you become, Amazon. Because you have a relationship with your customer. They know what you're going to do. They know how you're going to provide it. You brought them into your funnel and you offered them what they needed, not what you thought they needed. You said, hey, do you want my book? Oh, no. Oh, you want some swag gear? I got some clothes. Oh, no. Oh, you want my course on how to create a podcast? Buy this course. Oh, you want this? So you have whatever they need and where they are in their life. You have offers for them, whether it's an upsell, a downsell, or a cross sell. You have value that you can give your customer, right?
You said something key though, and I think people. And I want you to talk a little bit more about this, because I can go out there on this. A funnel. As much as you think people know, they do not know.
They don't.
You know what I'm saying? So a funnel is important. I tell people I'd rather get their phone number versus their email. Because their phone are attached to their hip 24/7.
And they gonna check it.
They gonna check that text message.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? So from my understanding and my looking at all my marketing strategies that I have in place, the phone number, and I use something like Post to Paid. I don't know. Just give me a little free game. Use something like Post to Paid, so you can go ahead, go to your thing and say, hey man, tap in, send me your email and your number.
Yep.
There's a new play though. I don't know if you've seen this play yet though. It's a good play too.
Oh, for this game.
So you get to the video on your website. The first 5 seconds, you got to hit them with the hook. The video stops, and they have to put their email in
to hear the rest of the video.
Fire. You know,
fire. Game. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, dang, that's smart.
Smart, and it's psychological. That's all marketing is all psychology. Like I love psychology. I got my business degree in marketing because when I went to Trinity University, I played football up there, and when I went to school, I was at first I thought I wanted to be a physical therapist. Okay. But then when I was doing physical therapy or thinking about that in high school, I cared more about owning a business than I did being an actual physical therapist. So I said, I need to be in business, my boy. That's business for me.
My business, my boy, please.
So then I switched and went into business, but I did marketing because I always say marketers, we are the creators of the business world. So in the business world, you have your accountants, you have your finance people, right? You have your marketers, and then you have your operations people who can actually operate the business, right? They can keep things moving. For me, when you're a marketer, marketing and sales, you have to be creative with your thinking, but also be effective with your execution. So I love it. It's just like, it's me all wrapped up because I'm artistic, but I'm also very direct and creative.
And it gives you the freedom. So if you say playing sports and entrepreneurship, how do you compare the two?
Oh man, I love it. Listen, Listen, I'm gonna look right into this camera. Listen, when it comes to playing sports and being an entrepreneur, I feel like I'm being in the big game again. Like I played in 2 state championships. Well, I was a part of 2 state championships.
Yes.
I played in the Texas All-Star game. I was a Texas All-Star. I played defensive end. I used to be balling, bro. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you know, I had 12 sacks, 86 tackles. I ain't studying, but I'm just saying I was doing my thing. So when I do a big meeting, like I got a presentation next Wednesday.
Okay.
I got a call with 22 investors where I'm giving a pitch about my $1 million raise, right?
I got you.
That pitch, I'm preparing for that like I'm about to be in a all-star game, like I'm about to be in a championship
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. It feels that way, right? So it's like just that same level of excitement. And I use a lot of the things I learned in sports to into the business world, like staying consistent, working out all the time, whether I feel like it or not. During the game, never getting too happy, never getting too low. Staying medium, right? You may have a good play, may have a bad play. Next play mentality, right? These are things that we learn from knee high, and kids are learning every day.
I like
they
that.
transfer over into the business world, into being an entrepreneur.
Because a lot of times people feel like, well, you know, the mindset. I'm like, man, an entrepreneur is pretty much an athlete, but he just got to think. He don't have to do as much physical. The problem is those who work less makes the most money. Think about that. Those who work less make the most money
because they think the most.
They think the most. So what strategies are you thinking about on a daily basis? So I have a question to ask. If you can go back, you're only 29, but still, if you can go back and ask your if you go back and tell your 13-year-old self anything so that your life can look different today, what would you tell yourself?
If I could go back and tell my 13-year-old self anything to make my life look even better than what it is, I feel like I'm living my dream.
Yeah, come on.
But if I could tell myself anything, I would tell myself to continue to listen to what your mom and dad are telling you.
I like it.
And I know that sounds real like
cliche
and cliche, but I mean it though, because my mom and depending on who your mom and dad is, right? But my mom and dad was really telling me to believe in myself, to work hard and to stay consistent. And those 3 things have helped me at every level of my life continue to rise, but also stay humble and stay wise.
I got you.
And I think that wisdom and being humble is what keeps you at the top. Hard work will get you to the top and it'll get you rising, but that wisdom and that staying humble and that staying hungry, it'll keep you at the top and it'll elevate you to that next level.
So somebody said this, and I want you to kind of expound on it. How can you be hungry and stay humble?
Okay, so check this out. You can be humble and still talk your talk.
Okay.
Talk your talk, George. You know what I'm saying?
Talk your talk, George.
Talk it up. Like you gotta talk it. I tell myself like but this the other thing too. A lot of the times it's who you talking to. So the problem is you think that talking means you need to talk it to your friends, talking to everybody. The non-believers. You need to talk it to yourself every day in the mirror. You need to talk it to a lot of us don't do self-talk. A lot of us don't meditate. We don't write down affirmations. You should be saying affirmations every day. Because every day you're competing against your mind. Your mind and your body are not always on your side. They're not always on your side. They're not always on the side of the goal you're trying to accomplish. So until you start talking that talk to yourself, so you believe it in yourself, that's who it's most important to. And then when you do it like that, you walk in confidence. You walk in humbleness because you are it. You're not trying to be it, right? You know how people say, fake it till you make it. I love when people say that because I feel like that advice is somewhat true, but I believe you should be it till you become it. So stop trying to fake it, right? Because when you faking it, you actually being something you're not. But if you be
imposter syndrome,
right? Imposter syndrome. You walk into a room, I'm not really supposed to be here. I'm not this, right? But when you've been being it, you may feel a little uncomfortable. But one of my affirmations used to be to God, make me comfortable being uncomfortable. So I became comfortable being uncomfortable because when I started going to these white schools, when I went to Trinity University and I was surrounded by white people, I grew up with Black and Hispanic people most of my life. So I felt uncomfortable. I'm in a new environment. I felt uncomfortable. I talk how I talk. I say what I say. I use the words I use. They talk how they talk. They say what they say. They got their mainstream references. I have my hood references, my growing up references. You know what I'm saying? But when you start to become comfortable being uncomfortable, no matter where you are, now you're always comfortable.
So there's and I tell people, nobody want to talk about it. We're going to talk about it a little bit, but you're about to die. And we need to have a time stone that we could put in the ground. You only could put 3 things in there so people can remember you by. What 3 things would you put in there? Because once you pass away 1,000 years later, we need to pull it up. Let's see who Martel is. What 3 things would you put in there?
That's a hard question. Okay. 3 things. I only have 3 things that I can put into this thing.
It's only this big though. It's only this big.
This big,
That's
and
it.
I only got 3 things. Okay. All right. One would be my journal.
Okay, I love that.
I would
Come
take
on.
you into the mindset of Martel.
Come on.
What I've been able to do.
Come on.
Another would be a list of books I've read.
I love it.
Whether it's The Alchemist, whether it's Think and Grow Rich, whether it's Rich Dad Poor Dad. I would give you a list of books that you need to read, and some spiritual books too. Whether it's the Emerald Tablets, whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Bhagavad Gita. I would give you books that you need to read in the science of self-realization to realize who you are and become yourself. And then the third, what the third would be, man? I think the third got to be something.
I think it got to be a video of all your content.
Something like that. Yeah, like a hard drive, with all like of me talking and all my videos.
So people can know. The reason why I asked that question is like, are you making a difference right now so that if something happened to you tomorrow, see, we all live like superheroes. We all live like, I'm never going to die. I'm never going to get. But at the end of the day, are you doing something so significant today that we can look back for what you've done that can help the next generation when you ain't here?
Yeah.
That's what's important though.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Legacy. And I build for legacy. I'm not doing all this for myself. I've been doing this for my family and for legacy. And I really do it for my people too. I speak heavy on my people, but I always felt when I was a little kid, I used to look into the sky and I used to like look. I'm being super transparent.
Come on.
I used to look into the sky and tell my mom like, Mom, why God brought us here? Why you came back to Earth? Why we here, Mama? I used to ask my mama these questions, and I used to tell her, like, I feel like, Mama, I'm supposed to do something great. She used to say, baby, you are. Just stay focused. You know, like I always knew it. It was something like when I was yeehaw, I knew I was gonna be great, but I always knew I was gonna be great, and I don't mean that cockiness. And like Jay-Z say, always know you're gonna be great before anybody else believed it. And I always believed it, and I would tell my mom about it, and she would affirm it, right? But sometimes when you know you're gonna be great, you'll tell. It might be your mom, it might be your dad, and they shoot it down. They hurt your feelings. They tell you how you gonna do that? How you gonna become that? You tell the wrong person your vision and your dream, and they shut it down, and it hurts your inner child, your inner person. Man. So you gotta right now in life. If somebody's ever told you wasn't gonna be great, you have to go unlearn that. You have to go back and do the work to tell yourself, like, dang, that did hurt my feelings. You have to admit to it first. A lot of times you forget about it or you block it out. Admit to the things that somebody told you couldn't do, and then start doing it. You'll start elevating, right? It's never too late. I don't care if you 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. It's not too late, bro. Like you can really elevate your life at any time, man.
And the thing is, I tell people all the time, like, man, listen, we are in this. Listen, I feel like I pinch myself every day. I'm not going to work. I tell people, my friend, he got offended. I say, you working for 401k, I'm working for my last name. It's a big difference.
Heavy.
You know what I'm saying? Heavy. I'm just saying. I work for my last name. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is one of 4 more books I'm about to drop.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm building a community of believers in Why Now Is Your Time. Why Now Is Your Time built on 3 principles. I want you to give me your 3 principles. My 3 principles is life, brand, legacy. And because I believe you should design the life you want. You should create the brand you deserve, and you should leave your legacy for years to come with your own information and products. You just said something I think you need to kind of reframe. And that reframe is, instead of leaving them books, you need to write that book.
That's heavy.
Write that book.
That's heavy. And you want to know why? You know why that's so heavy?
Come on.
Because myself, I'm an immaculate speaker. I'm a great writer too, but I don't like to write that much, right?
That's cool.
But it's something that I have to do because it's something that God has put into my lungs to actually give back to the world. So
you know what you can use?
A ghostwriter or a writer telling my story.
No, don't let nobody tell your story. There's a program that's called, I think it's OII.com or whatever. But every day, record yourself for 30 minutes. When you speaking, it's typing what you say and the punctuation. So
I gotta look at that. Now that's heavy. I thought you was about to say chat GPT.
No. I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about that. Everybody on there, I'm on something different.
Yeah, no, that's different.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So you can get up, you can talk. As you talking, guess what? It's easy. So every day, 30 minutes, you can just get up and start talking. It does your punctuation. It does everything you said. And then you can just, so now you can tell your story the way you want to tell it.
Yeah.
And don't have to worry about nobody. See, to me, I wrote this. It's 208 pages. This book. I wrote this book with no ghostwriter.
Yeah.
Because I believe that I can make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I was able to create your whole book,
yes,
the whole concept.
Yes.
Okay, and you asked me a question. You said for me to the three things that I live by, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is off the top, but if I had to give my 3 things that I live by, and I want others to live by, if you will, too. Number 1 would be God.
Okay, God.
Number 1 would be health. Number 2 would be health, and number 3 would be wealth.
I love it.
And that's what I honestly, I wake up every single day and that's what I'm on. Like, God is love to me. So I'm really like pushing out positive content. I'm pushing out content to tell you to be better. I'm pushing out content to tell you to elevate. I'm all about health. Good feeling hemp is about health and wellness. Plant-based health, right? We don't have to use all these pharmaceuticals that push us backwards and that give you 1,000 other different side effects. We can be using plant-based medicine, but you got to be consistent to do that.
That's true.
And number 3 is wealth, because man, so many of us have started backwards. Like, we get started and our family don't leave us nothing to really be able to propel. Like, one thing I hate sometimes about the Black community when it comes to this thing, and I swear this is something I see all the time. Man, how many of our grandparents, our parents say, man, once you 18, you grown. You better get about this house. You ain't got.
They not giving us.
Ain't give 18. You a kid. They ain't give you no type of real wealth and value. But it's because they didn't get it a lot of time. So you know, I have empathy for our community because we don't know. And it says in that good book that our people perish because of lack of knowledge
every day.
So now it's time for us to get the knowledge, but we got to catch on to that knowledge and hold on to it and elevate. And I'm sad to say that everybody won't make it and everybody won't elevate.
That's
but
cool.
Please don't be everybody. Don't let that everybody be you. You be the one to make it. And you be the one to help the ones that's in your family who needs the help. Because everybody family has that one. Everybody have that chosen. Everybody have it. Some of our families have multiple, right? But be that one. Be that chosen and walk in that energy. Don't let nobody tell you, you know, they may try to say, oh, you think you better than us. You think you this, you think you that. But that's because you're doing things that they're not doing. So keep doing it, because on that same person saying that a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, they gonna come back and need your help a lot of the time. So their kids gonna need your help. And if you love them and you walking in God energy, we here to do for others, not necessarily just do for ourselves.
Listen, I tell people this all the time. HOPE, HOPE. There's an acronym. Help other people excel. If you help enough people get what they want out of life, you're gonna get what you want out of life. It is very important that you start to help other people get the things that they want out of their life.
Very much so.
So there's a word game I play. And I tell a word, I say a word, you tell me what it means. Focus. Explain to us focus. What that mean to you?
Focus is the ability to concentrate on one activity at a time, one mission at a time, and to be able to end that focus with a result. Concentration and ending with a result. Follow
one course into a successful acronym. Next one is poor. What do poor mean to you?
Poor, if you're poor, it means that you are passing over opportunities repeatedly.
I love it. I love it. You ain't got to say nothing else after that. You know what I'm saying? Money. What do money mean to you?
Money to me is, I don't have the acronym for this one, but money for me is capital, or is the ability to use a currency or a resource to be able to exchange value.
Okay. You want to know the acronym?
Yeah, what's the acronym for that?
Momentarily owned, not externally yours. It's just a tool.
It's just a tool, just a resource.
Yeah, so it's just momentarily owned. When you want, but money is just as important as oxygen. Yeah. If your money stop, your oxygen. If your oxygen stop, you dead. Yeah. So you got to get that money.
And they got, my dad used to always tell me that money is always flowing. He said, "Oh, don't try to hold on to money. Money don't flow always. Money,
I like that.
Like I said, money like that hot girl in the bar in the red dress. She gonna move around, and it's gonna move around. But it may be yours for a minute, but then it may move around. Yeah, but you got to be able to understand that, like money. When you try to hold on to money, when you try to save money too much, you should never necessarily save money. You should invest money. So if you're not investing money and putting your money in an investment account, even the money you save should be making something for you, right? Because inflation is actually going backwards, and that's a law. That's a law by Newton, right? That if you either moving forward or you're actually becoming destructive. Like it's either progression or regression, right? So what are you doing? Are you progressing? If your money not progressing, you're losing out on it.
So I love when people talk about that. I tell people there's only 3 things you can do with time. Either you can spend it, waste it, or invest it. So what are you doing with those 3 things? And if you had $84,600 a day, but you're going to get it for the next 20 years, would you try to spend all of it every day?
If I had $84,000,
$600 every day, and tomorrow is going to be another $84,000 a day. You can't save it though. You got to spend it.
I can't save it. I gotta spend it.
You gotta spend that 80. You gotta spend it.
Oh, for sure. I'm a marketing mind, so we about to run it up. We about to change every single day. We about to bust that down and make 150, 200,000.
Okay, so
and recycle it.
The reason why I said that is because we got 86,400 seconds a day. What are we doing with it? We can't go back and get it. So are we really investing that time, that energy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
so you
sure.
start to think.
Even when you don't want to, even when you feel lazy, even when you don't feel like it. Get up and invest that time, invest that money, do something. And the little things is what makes it consistent, right?
Yes.
Like I do in disciplines too. Like I do yoga every single morning when I wake up. I use YouTube videos to help me with yoga. I watch, and then I do breathing exercises as well. Breath and how you do breath control and how you breathe into your being is so important. A lot of us don't consciously breathe, right? A lot of us breathe from our chest, not from our diaphragm, because we don't actually consciously breathe. So those things, and that changes your actual this is science too. Yes. It changes your mind in a way that your neurons fire inside of your brain. That's what made me so connected to this hemp space when I learned about your CB1 and your CB2 receptors. These are two receptors that are inside of our brain that fires, and that helps you either become the dopamine that fires off when you watching social media and you get those dopamine hits.
Killing you.
All the thing that makes you relax if you smoke a blunt or if you smoke a CBD, hemp, marijuana, or whatever, it hits that brain that makes you relax. These are brain cells and neurons inside of our brain that tells us to relax or to be excited. So what are you doing? How are you impacting your brain to make it work for you and not let the world influence you?
So I usually flip it around and I say, man, is there anything you want to ask me?
Yeah, hey, you know it's funny because I just have some questions for you as we was talking. Because I can tell your level of knowledge is high level.
I appreciate it.
You've been doing this for a while, and I'll let that. But so one of my questions for you though has been, especially for the audience listening, you know, as you started this journey and you've now became who you are, but before you started, when people were talking to you and were telling you like, why are you creating content? Why are you getting into content creation? What was your why? Like, why did you say, I'm going to start creating content and be consistent and have 3 different podcasts and promote and bring people on? Why did you start this?
Because this is the thing. I tell people, my mom passed away at 50 from cancer. Time is passing by. So I tell people all the time, I say, man, listen, content is very important because I'm all about leaving a legacy. See, I want to be able to go back and me and you can look at this video 20 years from now when you're a billionaire and be like, man, I remember you told me today. So we can go back and look at the information. So I'm really big on documenting your moments. It's no different from people say, well, how do you vlog? Like me and my wife, we got a vlog. Me and her got our own podcast. I got a podcast. She got a podcast. And we got people editing videos. Like it gets crazy. Yeah. So I try to tell people, I'm like, who you plugged into is what's your source of your power. So be careful who you plug into. Because if you plugging into negative energy, it's coming back. You plugging into people that's not successful, it's coming back. So make sure that you are plugging every day to people who can get you the results you're looking for.
My next question for you, because I can see you work a lot, I can see you do a lot, right? Sir. And so my question for you then is, what's your concept of work-life balance?
Man, it's like this. I really try to break this down to people though. I said, every day when somebody tell me, oh, my life is so easy. So you know that the defibrillator, that when you say beep, what that mean?
That you flatline.
You dead. So as long as it's going doom, 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 doom. The hardest part about being an entrepreneur is this. And my work-life balance goes like this. I wanna have a strategy so I can batch do things. So we take a lot of vacations. I'm going on vacation now. I'm not going to be working. We're not doing that. Yeah. But when we work, we go hard. Yeah. And I think people need to understand the balance of, if you're going to do 8 hours, do 8 hours. Don't come to a building and say, oh, well, I'm going to lay down for 30 minutes. Oh, I'm going to chill. I'm going to go social media. Yeah. My thing is put your phone away. don't, and this is one of the hardest things to tell people. When I wake up every day at 6:00, try to wake up and don't touch your phone at 9.
Now that's heavy. That's heavy because don't wake up 3. The first thing you do, grab your phone, check it out.
You check it out. So the problem is people spending countless hours strolling through social media that's not giving them value that they need.
Yeah.
So people say, "Oh man, I'm learning." What are you learning? Are you earning? You know what I'm saying? It got to come time you got to be earning money, not just learning.
Yeah.
People don't know how to. I call it run the play. Run the play.
Yeah.
But we don't know how to run the play because we scared to ask people how to run the play.
Key. So speaking of that, being scared of asking people how to run the play, when was the time when you got to a point where you felt like you was plateaued, if you will, and a mentor or somebody gave you advice, a piece of advice that helped take you to that next level as an entrepreneur?
Well, I think this was years ago. Right now, I'm so jacked out because the hardest part is seeing that money. Once you learn how to create money, it's over.
Yeah.
Now I can print my own ticket.
Yeah. You basically printing money.
You printing money.
Yeah.
Because now I know that I can go post a video and lead them to that funnel, and then the funnel gonna speak to them. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
I mastered that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know exactly, like I can like me and you, like this is gonna be a friendship. So I'm like, man, I got this number. You might have an event coming up. I might have an event. I'll be like, man, come speak at this event.
Facts.
So now you get a chance to build with other like-minded people, and that makes all of us great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like each one teach one. Yeah. So when you start to network and be around people who are really taking it to the next level, you take it to that next level.
Yeah, so you make less mistakes.
Yeah.
I really believe you make less mistakes. Like, I can't tell you anything about the cannabis. I can't. But I can tell you everything about product creation, learning how to run the play, learning how to create and make people sign up, buy a video. Me and my wife just went to a bakery today. They looking for marketing. So I said, let me see your website. You need a video that speaks to people. And you need to set up ads that's just in your area. If you're in the Jersey Village area, why would you have people coming from Southwest Houston? Yeah,
because you're in Jersey Village. You need to speak to, hey, if you're in Jersey Village right now, we have this for you.
And everybody that have a Facebook or Instagram in that area, you can just hit them up.
Yeah.
So they're going to be strolling, and what you're going to be doing, they're going to see your ad. And then once they see your ad, is it speaking to them? How do we remember commercials? One of my favorite commercials was "Give Me a Break, Give Me a Break." It's a Kit Kat commercial.
Kit Kat bar.
You know what I'm saying? Because we kept seeing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I ask you, what commercials are you running every day?
Yo, like what's your ads and your commercials? What's your spiel? What's your spiel? That's a great question, but I still got a question for you.
Okay, come on, I'm ready. Let's go.
So one of my questions for you though, because I keep hearing you talk about your wife and the level of execution y'all been able to do, right? And I think that's powerful. So tell me about how important has it been for you having Black love and having a stability with a wife who understands, not just understands, but supports and help you with your work ethic and with your grind. How important is it for young Black brothers and people who are still single? You know what I'm saying? Having that support with a
the problem is too many people is focused on. I told these guys at the barbershop the other day. I said, y'all thinking with y'all big head. I mean, y'all thinking with y'all little head, not y'all big head. The reason why my wife was the one that told me to walk away from the railroad.
Really?
She said, if you walk away and we struggle, I got us. So I don't care about the money. She said, go chase your dreams. And then that allows me to finish my book, create my clothing line, all my digital products. That allows me to think freely, knowing she had put that battery in my back.
Yeah.
And I got I got undistracted from energy, because when you a dude out there and you chasing women,
it's distracting. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fun. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's kind of fun, but it is distracting.
and you'll start looking at your bank account and be like, "Ooh, I spent some money."
Spending money
because women don't have to spend as much money as men.
No, what? No, man. You gotta spend money. My boy just told me he just bought some rocket tickets. You gotta spend money on dates, and you gotta get drinks, and you gotta get food.
Imagine doing it for 5 of them.
Oh my God. Your
money better be long.
What? And then on top of that, now you mentally not thinking about what you trying to grow all the time. Because you mentally split thinking about what
imagine spending $3,000 a month for a year on chicks. That's $36,000 you could have put on Roth IRA or something.
Anything.
anything.
To your own self, to your own. Yeah, exactly. And you know, I think a lot of times as men, we also look for these women to give us enjoyment, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Instead of learning how to find that enjoyment in yourself. Like whether you, and I'm not speaking to a lot of single brothers because I'm single, you know what I'm saying? And we just out here living. But I do appreciate and I look at the value of marriage and of union. Because when you look at it, if you look at the most billionaires, right?
They got one person.
They got one person. Most millionaires are married. Most successful people are in a union. And it's a reason why God connected us.
Well, let me tell you how good, once you find the right woman, not only is she gonna put the battery in your back, but she gonna elevate you to another level. So she gets me structured. I would tell her my dreams, and she'll write them down. Okay, you say you're gonna do this, and this. Here's your deadlines. Yeah. And so now I'm like, I gotta go get it. Yeah. You know that, but that's what puts me in the position to be making 6 figures a month.
Exactly. You know, that's how you really 10x. That's heavy. Did y'all just hear that? Yeah, that's what put me in a position to be making 6 figures a month.
That's what it is.
And that's real.
Because that one woman with one mindset. And that's why people love it. We got our brand trademark and everything. It's called One Marriage, Two Hustlers. They love it.
I love that too. One Marriage, Two Hustlers. Now, see, I had to ask you that question. You know, I just was hearing you flow, and I think it's important, and especially for Black love. For our next communities to be able to elevate with Black love. It's a big thing.
Yes, man. Yes. So, man, listen, before we close out, anything you want to tell the people, though? Anything you want to tell them? Anything to tell that 19-year-old kid, that 18-year-old kid, that 30-year-old struggling dude, that 40-year-old dude's about to give up on his dreams? Is there anything you want to just say, man, let's go get it?
Yeah, man. Okay, so if you're out there and you're trying to take yourself to the next level and take your life to the next level, first thing first, one, become super grateful. Take your time to look at what you have and be grateful for what you have, because until you become grateful, you can't go to the next level. You have something. Even if you don't have nothing, you have something. You know, you're living, you got most of you got a house, you got a car, you may have a job. So become grateful. But then after you become grateful, don't become satisfied. Now it's time to be grateful and now take yourself to this level and say, how do I get to this next level? Now the way to do it is with something that I call a pen and a paper. I'm telling you, I promise you, listen to my words when I say this. Take a pen and take a paper and write out what you want to do, who you want to become, what type of people you want to hang around, what type of lifestyle you want. If you want to go on vacation, write that vacation. If you want to have fun, if you want that new car, if you want a Mustang, if you want to, whatever car you like, Corvettes, whatever you like, write that down. Write down your vision, because see, it's something that's magical about a pen and a paper. That's why they call it spelling. And so when you write that spell into manifestation, you are now creating your new life. So you have to do that. And a lot of us undermine that. We undermine that part of that process. We hustle. We're gonna go out and we're gonna get it, but we ain't gonna slow down to actually strategize and write out what we want and what we want to create. So I want to tell you, one, just to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Believe in God. Pray. I'll be the first one to say, I went through some times in my life when I was having depression and when I had anxiety, and when I just felt like nobody in the world really cared, and I just felt like I had to get it all out the mud by myself.
People see your glory now, but they don't know your story.
They don't know the story, man. Listen, when I say I did all this, and I did all this mental work and self work to help me and my mom make it out of our lifestyle. I grew up on food stamps and child support. I had great parents. I had a great family, but that's how I grew up. And for me to have that lifestyle in the age of 21 years old, right before I moved to Barcelona, Spain, and lived in Spain at 22. A month before I go to school to report for my football camp, my mom passed away. My mom died. She was my only purpose. My mom was my purpose on earth. That was the reason why.
That was your why.
That was my why. When I was 18, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 16, right? Like I've been getting it for a long time. Elementary, I got stories. But she was my why, because we didn't have a lot, but we had a lot. We had each other, right? I used to call her my Superwoman. So when Superwoman died and she was no longer here, she didn't die. She transitioned. She's still here in spirit. But when that happened, that's how it felt. It felt so broken and it felt so lonely. So to go through those times, everybody handle that differently.
They do.
I kind of handled it where I separated from everybody and I just was in my own shell, just grinding, just trying to figure it out, right? I wanted to just work mode to a degree. But if you ever been out there and you felt lonely, you felt like nobody was here to help you, you felt like your why got taken away from you, you got to remember to tap into God. You got to remember to tap into your purpose, and it's bigger than you. I just wrote down an affirmation for myself earlier today, and I'm actually going to read it directly. I said, my affirmation I wrote, I said, I'm so happy and grateful that I think lightly of myself and deeply about the world.
Come on.
Think about that. I'm so happy and grateful that I think lightly about myself and deeply about the world. Because it's not about you. And when you start changing your mindset and stop thinking it's always about you and understand that it's about others in the world, you'll truly be able to evolve as an entrepreneur. You'll be able to manifest all of your dreams, and you'll be able to live in peace. Which is, man, I want you to have peace and happiness, brother, no matter what you're doing. But you're making, I know multimillionaires who are sad. I know people with the most beautiful woman who are sad. I know people with the most, with the most luxurious trips who are sad. They got the fastest cars, the best thing. They got the best shoes. They got the rollie on. They got the
empty though.
Empty.
No purpose.
Sad. No purpose. They ain't got nothing to live for, bro. So you want peace. At the end of the day, all these other things that we get in this world are great, but don't forget that you're a spiritual being having a human experience. So your spirit must be served first before this human body, because it's just an experience. We only here for a time. Then we gone.
And that's why legacy is so important. And also I tell people, believe in yourself like you believe in God, you can't fail. If you believe in yourself like you believe in God, you cannot fail.
Facts.
You know, and to know that you are waking up every day and serving others, help other people excel. That's why I post reels. I post this. I tell people it's not about the numbers. It's about the impact.
Facts.
And I'd rather have 1,000 people spending $1,000 with me versus 1 million people just looking.
What? Man.
You need supporters, not fans. You know what I'm saying?
That. Supporters, not fans. You want lifers, man. I want lifers. I want you to love what you're doing. Be connected to me like you love going to Chick-fil-A and they customer service.
One of my biggest goals is over the next 7 to 10 years is to make 100 people millionaires with their own products. It's one of my personal goals.
I love that. That's actually kind of in alignment with one of mine. Actually,
okay.
So that's heavy. That's heavy.
That's heavy, man. Anything else you want to leave them?
The other thing I want to do is I definitely want to tell you to go tap in with my brands, right? Tap in and follow. You can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook at Martel Matthews. That's MARTEL.
I'm gonna put it on the screen too. Okay. So
MATTHEWS. You can also follow my brands at Good Feeling Hemp, and you can follow Black Wall Street at blackwall.st. Follow my brands, tap into what we doing.
Come on.
Send me a message. Don't just follow. Interact, bro. Don't be scared. I just gave you open invitation. Holla at your boy. I got you, man. No, seriously. If you trying to elevate, if you just need help, if you just need guidance, I'm not gonna tell you I got all the answers, but I will tell you I got a lot of resources.
I got a lot of resources.
So maybe I can help you out. Maybe I can put you on, connect you to somebody that can really help you elevate and grow. Because at the end of the day, if you grow, I grow, and we all grow as a community.
We win.
That's the goal.
So look, my last question, and we're gonna close it out. What was your expectation before you walked into the studio? What was you expecting to see versus when you seen?
Man, listen, when I walked in this studio, I'll be honest, right? Okay. Because I didn't really know what I was going to expect. I just knew I was coming to have a podcast, but I didn't realize that when I walked into this place, the amount of professionalism that you set up, Lloyd, and the way that you've been able to guide this interview, but also like the cameras we got. Look, y'all can't see the back, but we got lights. We got art on the wall. We got branding on the wall. We got a camera. We got flat screens on the TV. We got Wakanda in the back. Wakanda forever. You feel me? Like we out here. So I'm really proud of you, man. And I want to tell you on camera because
I appreciate it.
You know, one young black man to another black man. I'm proud.
We're here to help each other, man. And that's the thing. And I like when people walk into the room to feel an experience, and they can come back and say, man, I created that think tank just for people to have an area where they can come in and think. We got couples coming in next week, and we helping them build that digital product out. And because they want to create their own products, and that's one of my goals, man. I'm so happy. It's me and my wife. We're a team, man. We stick together, man.
Word.
And I try to tell all the young men, when you find that one, your life is done. Financially, it's gonna go up. Because God gonna honor. He gonna honor your faithfulness. Word. He said, if you be faithful over little things, I make you ruler over many. And this is just part one. We're building a 10,000 square foot building, 5 podcast rooms, 2 state-of-the-art classrooms where people can teach. Also, an all-white room, people can build out products, whether it's fitness, whatever, and 2 areas that hold 300 people that people can actually do seminars. It's coming, man.
It's done. It's done.
It's already done.
Speak it and it's done. And look, and I got to speak this for the record. I always be like, and I love referencing other people because that's how I've been able to benchmark myself.
Yes.
And so he said earlier about being a billionaire. One, I'm going to be a billionaire. And the reason I know I'm going to be a billionaire, I always reference myself like this. I said Jay-Z started rapping when he was 26. He started rapping when he was 26 and he became a billionaire. I became a CEO at 26.
Come on.
So when I become a billionaire, 1, you're going to be right there too.
Hey, let's get it.
And 3, we're going to help impact the whole globe.
Let's change the world, man. We might do a speaking engagement run one time.
We should.
And hit different cities and tell people like, hey, man, change. Got the voice. Got the businesses. Man, let's make this thing happen, man. Listen,
we about to grow.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Remember, go out, design the life you want, create the brand you deserve, but most importantly, leave your legacy with your own information and products. We see you next video. Peace.